Hey guys, thank you so much for joining me today. As above, so below. This is normally our Bible study day. This is Wednesday, Mercurial Energy, Quicksilver, as some people call. If this is your first time on my live, my name is Chief Apostle Samuel Ailey Jr. I am the apostle and pastor of Apostolic Faith of Jesus Christ Incorporated, and my beliefs are deeply rooted in the ATRs. The ATRs are the African traditional religions by which we harness, direct, and disperse energy and frequency and vibration. To each and every one of you guys, first of all, salutation to my Padrino, to my Oba, to all of my brothers and sisters in E5, Voodoo, Santeria, Lakumi, Congo, Palo, Mystic, and Adjays. To each and every one of you guys, my air signs, my water signs, my fire signs, and my earth sign. I want to say welcome and good morning to each and every one of you. Good morning. I also want to say thank you for my tribe. Thank you for those that what's up, Demetrius? Thank you so very much for your continued support of this platform. I want to say this before I get started on today. Today is my youngest son's birthday, Elijah. He's his birthday today. I got to put it on my Facebook page, but I thank you so much for wishing him a happy birthday as well. I want to say also to those that are here on this platform to learn what real magic is, spirituality, conjure, mysticism. This is the channel for you. If you're in the church and you practice the ATRs, this is for you. If you are a person that have left the church and still got church influence, this is for you. If this is also for those that want to utilize their spiritual gifts and spiritual practice on a professional level, which means get paid for it. To all of you, I'm a Sagittarius, my moon is Aries, and my rising is Pisces. It is not my intention or my endeavor to change your mind and views. I like to present knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. I love the freedom. I'm Sag. I love the freedom of being an adult. An adult means that I have the right to choose life or death, blessing or cursing, up or down, and I'm solely responsible for however the cookie crumbles. When it comes down to magic and spirituality, I want to reiterate that magic is eternal. Whether it's hoodoo, voodoo, Santeria, Lakumi, whether it's church magic, whether it's thank you so much for the star. Whether it is Congolese, whether it's Brazilian, whatever your culture is, or how you harness your energy, frequency, and vibration, that ain't got nothing to do with it. Universal laws apply to each and every person, no matter whether you are a believer, not a believer, whether you are intermediate, advanced, or a beginner. Whether you are a sideline, we all are spirit energy, and we are here on this earth plane. So I want to talk about something today. Now, I'm a Sagittarius. When a Sagittarius speaks truth, people get offended. So this is for educational purposes. You don't have to be deeply rooted in the ATRs. You can be somebody that believes in affirmations. You can be somebody that believes in Book of Psalms. You can be somebody that believes in root word, conjure. You can be a gambler. You have a lucky hand. Energy affects us all. Vibration, frequency, and so forth. Now, what I want to talk about on today, this is our Bible study, and I want to help black melanated people, especially those in the Americas. And my destiny star is in Capricorn, and I take my spirituality very seriously. And I want to say this. My subject is affording the spirituality you choose. Whether you choose to work with the ancestor, the Egun, whether you are working with Moretos, whatever level they may be on. Let me explain something to you. I've been doing magic since I was a child. I'm 52 years of age. I've been doing graveyard work as a kid. I've been doing. I met my spiritual dad when I was 13. Oh yes, this is a message for me. Thank you so much. So let me explain this. I've said this over and over. And I don't care how many signs, how many warnings are out there. Great, good day and great day to you as well. Black people, melanated people, gonna do what they want to do. They don't want to take responsibility for the choices they make, but they're gonna still do what they want to do. So if you're gonna do this for a profession, there's some things you need to consider. You need to be mindful. Now, one of the things that I want to emphasize, that I have always said, that Ocha, which is Santeria, and Lukumi is the most, and Haitian Voodoo is the most expensive ATR that I have seen out there. Doesn't mean hoodoo doesn't cost. Doesn't mean mysticism doesn't cost. People that practice Ifa, all ATRs, just like the church, whether you got a big church, whether you got a small church, it still costs. One of the things that I understood very early on in my young life, even as a child. What's up, Miss Whitney? My 79. Y'all know I've been trying to switch her to 69. She won't do it. She a real Sagittarius, but she a great supporter. I want to say this. When you go into a situation, understanding what it means to count up the cost. Now, when I got into Santeria and Lukumi, I knew I was economically able to do the things that I do. And I want you to understand why a lot of people have a lot of setbacks when it comes to ATRs. The mentality of most people that are in the Christian church or got church influence believes that Jesus paid it all. The average person that claims that they want to evolve into the ATRs, they still carry that mentality that Jesus paid it all. And so therefore they don't look to invest in their spirituality. They don't look to be accountable for their spirituality because the devil made them do it. See, all these thought processes will affect and hinder your growth and development when it comes down to the ATR. What's up, Tree Rhonda in the house, Aries? So when I say this, it's no different than I tell people. When one of the things that I want you guys to understand is that I come from a family of means. We have investment property, houses. I have family members still building housing to this day. So I come from money. I'm not talking about a couple $100,000. I come from some real money. And so I always knew what real money was. And the reason why I'm bringing that up is because if you don't know what real money is, if you don't know what paying bills really is, then you're going to get involved with people, places, and things and thinking you're doing more than you should when you're actually doing what you're supposed to be doing. This is why a lot of you guys, especially melanated people that get involved in the ATRs, you're used to being in the church and putting anything you want in the offering plate. And they pass it around 2 or 3 times or whatever. This is why people that grew up in the church are so offended when they have to pay for ebos, when they have to give derechos for their ceremony. They feel like once they've been initiated or once they have paid into a system, if you will, a elay or a coven or a house, then you're obligated to not to contribute to the maintaining. I have people in my church that don't even know what the light bill is. And they never asked. They don't know what it costs to actually run the church. And these are the same people that want to go out and obtain things, own things. And there's a process by which a individual learns certain skills when it comes to affording things. And I'll never forget, because my mother's a Virgo and she don't play, not by her money. So my mother gave me some money because I love to shop. I've always been a shopaholic. So she gave me some money and I went in the mall. And not that I even needed shoes, but that's what I chose to do with my money. So I went and bought a pair of shoes and I bought some cologne. And then I got hungry. So my mom said she finna go get her something to eat. So because she said that, I assumed she was gonna buy me something to eat, because after all, I'm a child, right? So we get there and she go to ordering. And I said, Mama, you ain't gonna give me no food. I'm underage, I'm a minor. So she looks at me. She said, I gave you some money. And she said, you did what you want to do with your money. And she said, if you hungry, I suggest you eat them shoes and drink that cologne. I looked at her, I said, this is a straight devil. A lot of y'all are grown out here in these spiritual streets. You're getting involved in things that you are not able to afford. And then you're trying to make other people feel like they're neglecting you, or they're off-putting or overlooking you, when the truth is you were not prepared for the responsibility of the ATR that you, sir or ma'am, chose to be in. Nobody forced me. And yes, even if you got a divination and it's in your ancestry, you got to prepare for that. So I say to my brothers and sisters, aloha. What's up, my Aquarius? So when the house that I'm in right now, and I'm trying to teach you some universal laws, because I want melanated people to be aware and be able to afford the hoodoo. Now, if you out here conjuring on a budget, and at some point we all conjure on a budget. Some people got better budgets than others. That's why I tell people I'm not shining on nobody. I'm not a Dollar General, flea market, Family Dollar type of spiritualist. That ain't how I roll or I rumble. So I'm not here to offend. I'm here to resonate with who resonates with me. So when I went to go after this particular house, and I'm trying to teach and share, and so I was when I had decided, I got approved from the bank for $350,000. By me being raised up with my Virgo and all those lessons she taught me before I left her house, I knew that I was not going to get the max. Whatever house that I was going to get was going to be far beneath $350,000. Some of you guys, you go after things knowing that you do not have the flexibility in your finances to you got a wife or a husband, you got kids, and you're trying to practice religions or traditions that are going to be costly. Some of you trying to go to school at the wrong season and the wrong time. You have not set yourself up for certain victories or certain probability. You grown, do what you want to do. I'm just sharing. You could take it how you want to. So I went after this house. So once I got the realtor, Minister Mara, son of Atosi, was with me, and I looked at a couple houses, and then I was like, God, I never lean on my own understanding. I always let the Spirit direct my path. So I got to this house. I said, this is it. So, long story short, what happened was they originally told me all I needed was $19,000 to put down on the house, right? So they had a closing date set. So in the midst of the closing date, I got a phone call from the lender, or the real estate agent, the closing lady, and she said, "Mr. Ely, we're not going to be able to close as we had scheduled because they're asking for $21,000 instead of the $19,000." I said, "Ma'am, you can continue the closing date." I said, "Cause I got the 21,000." She said, "You got what?" I said, I was prepared to spend 25,000. See, I was taught to go into something having more than enough. Many of you guys are getting into these ATRs and trying to practice magic, and you don't have enough. You don't give yourself no wiggle room. You don't give yourself no spiritual cushion, and you're just out here spending money and knowing that you can't afford to maintain the lifestyle that you have. Being able to afford something is that I can still maintain the lifestyle that I have and still have that. Many of you guys can't have ephah. You can't afford ephah. You need Christianity. You can't afford hoodoo and certain levels of hoodoo. You can't afford voodoo, especially Haitian voodoo. You can't afford Ocha. You have never budgeted. Let me explain where I'm coming from. My non-melanated sisters, I'm talking about white women and white men, their grooming is not a luxury. Their hair, their everyday adornment of their self and their projection is not a luxury. It is a part of their lifestyle. Most black people that get their hair done, their nails done, that's a luxury. You don't live a lifestyle that this is a part of what you do in season, out of season, no matter what. I teach people to know your budget when it comes down to your practice. If all you can afford is to keep up, and because manifestation is all about consistency. This is for educational purposes only. You ain't got to take nothing I say. What do I know? I'm 52 years of age. I've been doing conjure more than some of y'all been living. Anyway, so the lady, I end up closing on that day. Now, mind you, I bought this house brand new and way beneath what the bank allowed me to have. And I also put more money down on this house. But this house came brand new, so it did not have a refrigerator, washer and dryer, stove. I bought that. I was prepared not only for the house that I was moving in. Can somebody listen at what I'm saying? I was not only prepared, I had another piece of property in another town. I was prepared not only to put new appliances in my house, but I was going to refurnish my brand new house, not with my old furniture. I left that back to the rentees. Do you understand? Some of you are out here, got enough. You can afford the candle, but you can't afford the incense. You can afford the candle, but you can't afford the oil. You cannot expect to get manifestation when you're not preparing your mind, your positioning in life to afford the things that you're trying to endeavor to do. Some of you gonna fail before you get started. When I walked in my house, I got new furniture, new bedroom set, the whole thing. And just for FYI, all of my stuff here is paid for, except for this house. I live my life like I live my country. I try to eliminate any form of stress because there's things in life that you're going to have to deal with. And there's other things, if you play your cards right and you apply yourself, you won't have certain stresses. You may have situations, but you won't have certain stresses. The way that you are stepping into the ATRs without allowing other people to tell you the cost. When I moved into this community, I understood what it cost to be in this community. I can afford to have the neighbors that I have. Do anybody? You are trying to rub elbows with certain spiritual people that you can't do it. You can't afford to keep up with them. You're going to make them a problem. You're going to make every spell, every conjure they do a slight at you. Because you cannot afford to get the proper tool that are going to allow you to work their recipe. Spirituality is costly. Thank you, baby. I appreciate y'all. Know I'm a Sagittarius. I love the present. Let me explain something to you. Just like they have carbon copies of designers' outfits, you have people that try to do the spells and the works that I do from a more economical standpoint, and I ain't hating on that. You use paraffin, wax, I'll use beeswax. You understand? You got dragon blood powder. I got the chunks of dragon blood rocks. You understand? You got the milliliter of oil of oregano. I got the canister. You understand? When people don't teach you, there's levels to magic and how you can implement magic and the assets that you may have at certain tools. Because if something is not in the country, I will order outside the country to get what I need. You understand? When you are working with certain spiritualists, this is not a put down. This is for educational purposes only. But you need to be afford the spirituality that you're practicing. And you need to know your type of clients. See, when you go to Wally World or Walmart, you're looking for sales. You're looking for deals. When you step up into Bloomingdale's and you step up into Saks Fifth Avenue, you there to pay prices. And I guess, I'm not telling you not to look for your deal. I just said don't look for me. You're not going to see me with a Black Friday sale on my website. Huh? If I'm selling, you ain't gonna see me with a sign 2 for 1. I don't do that. I ain't never did. I ain't gonna do it. You understand? You get in where you fit in and stop making if you can't go to Harvard, go to the community college. Don't mean you can't get an education. You can't get into Yale. Don't mean that you can't get an education. Don't mean you can't get a degree. You just can't go to the Bri. You understand? You can get a nursing license, but you can't get it from certain institutions because you can't afford it. Don't mean you can't get knowledge. Oh, but y'all was showing out for me. Doesn't mean you can't get your knowledge, wisdom, understanding. My classes are not like other people's classes. I do real magic, I do real conjure, I do real mysticism. Thank you for the roses. I'm trying to educate people that if this is what you want, not what I want for you. If this is what you want, you got to step your game up to afford what you're trying to do. I don't push nobody to buy my services or my products. I teach people. That's right, extraterrestrial fact. That's my late Libra. You can start out wherever you are, but just like anything, you need a spiritual advisor. You need somebody to talk to you economically when it comes to what you're trying to accomplish. Affording your spirituality is having a basic understanding what it's going to cost for you to practice evil. Why you don't know before you meet your godparents? Why you don't know what it's going to cost for you to practice hoodoo? And if you are a spiritual baller on a budget, then you need to stick to the rivers and the lanes that are comfortable for your budget. You shouldn't be getting out here going to war or getting into skirmishes with people that out spiritually measure you. I don't see the wisdom in it. I didn't go get a dog that I couldn't afford. I'm still paying for Shango is with my son, my middle son, my Pisces. And I'm still paying for him. I don't get things I can't afford. Even when they ain't in my house. So let me break it down even the more. You got to crawl before you walk. Until you learn how to master the 4 seasons with an apartment, you, sir and ma'am, should not be in the house. Some of you guys want something, but you never prepared yourself to get it and to maintain it. Because you like the idea of being the head and not the tail. You like the idea of being the lender and not the borrower. You have no idea what it's going to take for you to stay on top. And you're not prepared. This is why the Bible said, why would God give you your own when you're not faithful over another's man's? This is why women should watch how a man dates you. How he courts you while y'all dating. What he does. This is why I tell people, you can learn so much about a date. If this man wants to take you out on a date, you watch how he arranges. How he's prepared not only to pay for the meal, but the tip. He's also prepared for whatever may take place, whether it's raining, he got an umbrella. Come on, somebody. You watch how a man and a woman operate. This is why Queen Sheba had so much honor and respect. It was how King Solomon was running his kingdom. Not that he just had a kingdom, because she had her own. But how he administrated. Oh, that's it. Y'all talking about what's sexy and what turn you on when it comes to conjure. It's how a Negro or a Negrette handle their conjure, their mysticism, how prepared they are. So you watch all these things because it's going to let you know what you're dealing with. Because if he's not stressing over the meal, if he's not stressing over the tip, he's not reminding you how much gas has been burnt. So you got to watch what people talk about. Golly. Why you pick here? It sure is high. You already got your answer. When I hear people talking about something, what it costs to do work with me, no problem. You won't get it? Because I can afford to turn you down. I can afford to let you go. I can afford. You understand? When you get out here in these spiritual streets, make sure you can afford to have a church or have a banana cup. And you're not out here doing all type of work that you may personally not want to do. But because you got bills to pay. There's certain levels of truth that I can afford to tell. Because I make my money telling the truth. Some people make their money telling a lie. This is for educational purposes only. You don't have to be disappointed. If you don't practice reinvesting in your spirituality, then don't expect certain harvests. When you know better, you do better. Some of you got more information than you ever had, and you operating up under the same pattern. Being able to afford something is different from being able to buy it. I look at people and I say, why did you buy that? I'm not going to walk around here got kids to feed and got rims on my car. Because rims on my car cost money. It's nothing wrong with you having transportation. I had one uncle and he went and bought a BMW copying his brother. Is there any, I love a BMW. I normally buy BMWs. But my response, I gave my opinion. I said, my other uncle can afford a BMW. His kid's in a position. I said, the other uncle, he should have bought an Excursion. With all them cheering he got and grandkids he got, what the hell you need a sports BMW? I can afford. Because my kids are grown. My baby, he's a Leo. He don't even talk to me. All he do is, he got such an attitude. And he don't know I was raised by a Virgo. All you doing, bro, is saving me money. I'm going to give you a happy birthday shout out, and that don't cost me nothing. Ain't going to bother me at all. But if you're honoring me and trying to do something with your life, I would have been kicking out trying to help you. A lot of times when people walk out your life or people doing stuff, they ain't doing nothing but saving you time, energy, and money. Hallelujah. Some people left my church, thank God. You and your nasty children for educational purposes. Some things are not a loss. It's actually a gain. I'm just trying to help you. You can live however you want to. What I'm saying is, no matter how many times you tell black people that want to practice hoodoo for educational purposes, I don't care how much you tell them what it really costs to. Let me explain that like this. You can live a life that you're just existing. And a lot of things that you should have, you don't have. Because you can't afford it. You need it, but you can't afford it. You understand? If you cannot, you don't have the imagination, you don't have the drive or the support. When I say support, I'm talking about people that can educate you. Because some of y'all, especially us that come from the church, educational purposes only, you don't want nobody to teach you how to fish. You don't want, ATRs are about responsibility of self. I don't care what ATR it is. And most people that are not accountable do not do well in the ATRs. They're always thinking somebody is trying to shine on them. Let me explain something to you. Your insecurity is screaming. The mere fact that you don't know your energy, your frequency, and your vibration. You don't understand what it is to be a Sagittarius. You don't know what it is to be a Cancer. You don't know. I've seen I keep telling them, I got these water signs, these Cancers around me. I'm the elder, I'm the leader. Your feelings don't come before facts. We're in the age of Aquarius. And if I got to have a crab boil, that's what it's going to be. Now, what you can do is follow accordingly and follow me at a distance. Sometimes you can't be up on the fire. You understand? I'm trying to give out some wisdom. With your elder is going to be who they are. Whether they're an earth sign, whether they're going to be an air sign, whether they're going to be a water sign or a fire sign. You're not going to change your parents. You're not going to change your spiritual parents. I'm trying to help you save some money, some time, and some energy, and some heartache. Stop until you get in position. I had saved, I've been putting money back in my 401k. I've been making money because I'm not a big saver. I save, but I'm not a big. I told Minister Morris, son of Machosi, you came here to save money, not me. I'm going to save some for a rainy day, but I'm going to spend anything that I get. If I died today or tomorrow, and my children came in here and seen some tags on some clothes that I had, it was by accident. It was not intentional. I had no intention for you being the first body to get into that shirt, those pants, those shorts, those shoes, or those drawers. I'm just saying. I lived my life to take care of me. I live my life to take care of me. My moon is in Aries. I believe in independence. And I'm a Sag. I believe in travel. I can afford. See, this is what my point is. Not only can I afford Ocha, I have the square footage in my house and my church where my orishas ain't piled up on each other. Some of y'all trying to practice a religion and tradition, you ain't got the space in your life, no less than in your living quarters. You got your orishas piled up like a bunch of Mexicans for educational purposes only. I'm just trying to give you a picture in your head. Your orisha stacked on top because you ain't got no room. You got to have room and space for the things that you're practicing. My cauldron, I got cauldrons. I'm a Tata Nkisi. My cauldrons, they got space. I ain't got to keep bumping into Zarabanda. I ain't got to keep bumping into Centea. I ain't got to keep on. I done crack Kobe Inde because I ain't got no room. I done damaged my pot because I ain't got no room. I got to keep shifting stuff and moving stuff. Now I done broke my pots. Do you understand what I'm saying? Things need to make sense. Things need to be organized. Things need to be fashionable for your life. What you trying to live. What you trying to possess. My house big enough, if I wanted to burn the candles on this, my bedroom, my bedroom is like an apartment. If I put a small refrigerator in there, I won't even have to come out my bedroom. I can afford to be nice. I can afford to give the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. Y'all expecting these spiritually to be, even if they had the knowledge, the wisdom, understanding that I have, or the skill, they couldn't afford it because they didn't set themselves up to prosper. They did not set themselves up. Everybody that purchased from my platform, always get extra. I can afford to be a blessing to the people. You right here talking about you a child of Abraham, a father of many nations, and you can't afford the children you got. You can't afford the you mixing. Let me tell y'all something. You trying to use the salt to season your chicken and to cleanse and protect your house. That means you can't afford that country. Because if you can't afford to have two different type of separate salts, then you shouldn't be doing that kind of work. You should be able to afford a certain man based off of how you want to live, how you want to do content. Just like when you make a decision, this is the kind of lifestyle. I knew that I was going to live a certain type of lifestyle. I didn't know how I was going to, I know I wasn't going to sell drugs. This is why people can't mock what I do. This is why they don't like my videos, but they watch. To give you a case in point, I can afford the Orishas that I'm purchasing. I'm still prepared for anything that Padrino come out of the woods on. Just because he gave me the price, the retro that it's going to cost for the ceremony, don't mean that's all it's going to cost. When you get a woman or man in your life or a child, don't mean that's all it's going to cost. There's no threat of child support, and I'm still doing for my children. I'm going to say it again. Somebody said, I love your videos because you give us real, don't on sugarcoat, and most people can't handle it. I appreciate that. All I'm trying to do is get you to have a realistic view of what you're trying to do, what you kind of avoid. That's why when I talk to my fire signs, I give them wisdom about being a fire sign. And this is why I tell Sagittarius, I'm going to say this again, because I got my baby Stormy on here. A Sagittarius, if you don't want to be mocked and you don't want to be looking like a fool, never oversell yourself. Never count your biddies that are not hatched. If you're a fire sign, if you are a fire sign, meaning you're an Aries, a Leo, or a Sagittarius, when we get hot, we don't care what the consequences are. We ain't gonna care until after the situation. This is why self-control and monitoring your temperament is your responsibility. Because I'm not gonna burn down the bridge I'm gonna need tomorrow. I'm not gonna get rid of a relationship when I know I want that relationship. When I already know that patience is not my best friend. So I'm going to have some understanding. Since I ain't got a lot of patience, I'm going to have a lot more understanding. You understand? You can still be who you are. Because we're in the season of Leo. And you not allow your energy, your element to cost you. My air signs. Ain't nothing wrong with you being in your head and thinking. It's a problem when you overthink. It's a problem when you think the way you think, every other person should think that way too. There's things that we need to regulate in our own energy, frequency, and vibration. But staying on task, I've never had to be made ashamed. Even the sacrifices, even the risks that I take, they're calculated. And I have a fallback plan. If things don't go right, I got something else in place. And I'm 52 years old. I'm already preparing for my 60s. I got 8 years to prepare for my 60s. I'm not going to wait till I get 60. I'm not going to wait till I get more godchildren. I'm not going to wait until I get more covenant members. I'm not going to wait until I get more clients. A lot of times you're not prepared and can't afford for the increase that you're asking for. You want God to enlarge your territory, and you can't cover the territory that you already got. Why are you asking for more because you think asking for more means you're going to have more to do with? Much is given, much is required. I'm not telling you what to do. I'm just saying, if you really want to grow and develop, hold on a second. I want y'all to hold on just a minute. Just a minute. How about that? Let me tell you something. And if you want to do this as a business, you can take this business advice or not. I always talk to my clients about finances. And I always tell them, what is it that you can realistically afford to do? And be consistent in that. I'm not trying to push you into services and products that you can't afford to maintain. Because if I want you to win, I need you to understand what it's going to cost for you to get manifestation. And no, I can't make nobody do nothing. And that is not my goal or my point. My point is being able to lead with knowledge, wisdom, and understanding. A lot of you guys cannot afford the decisions that you're making. You have not covered your bases. I live about 3 hours away from my Padrino and my Uber. You have not even calculated travel. What if you get somebody that is really good for you, but they live in another state? Can you afford their classes? Can you afford their time? You can't just, nobody's not going to teach you for free. I don't care if they call it derecho, tithe and offering, they call it a bill. It don't matter. It take currency. So if you being honest and you being real, and the reason why I ain't had nobody to have to come bail me out of nothing, because I can afford the property that I govern. I can afford the people that I call my tribe. I can afford their mistakes. I don't want to afford their mistakes. Let me say it like this. You have to have enough experience and wisdom for the people that you claim to lead. I'm going to say that again. You have to have enough wisdom and skill and resources for the people that you claim to want to lead. You can't be with somebody that you can afford to lead them. You can't be in a relationship with somebody that has the ability and the flexibility to go to and from and afford wherever they go. That's not a good decision. A lot of you think you got money that you don't have. I remember my mama told me, I had just started working for UPS. I was making back then $10 an hour. And I told my mom, I said, how can these people afford Infinities and these new cars? I'm tell you what my Virgo told me. That lady got a business head on her. She said, my nickname Pee Wee. She said, Pee Wee. She said, if they were doing what they're supposed to do with their money, they couldn't afford that car either. She said, I guarantee they living with somebody. If it ain't their girlfriend or boyfriend or their mama or sister. Because when you got your priorities lined up correctly, one thing is more important than the other. It is more important to me. And she told you, because we have rental property. And this helping you in the spiritual realm. And she said this. She said, black people will keep their car and lose their place to stay. She said their priorities are out of order. It is better to walk where you got to go and have somewhere to stay. When you ain't got nowhere to stay, everybody saw. When you ain't got no shelter, you can't keep what you got going on stable. See, you can't apply the principle of harnessing energy when you don't have shelter. And when you choose transportation over a place to stay, your priorities are out of order. When a woman chooses a man over her children, her priorities are out of order. When a man chooses his rim and his car over his children, his priorities are out of order. My grandma said it ain't what you do, it's how you do it. How you got the responsibility that you have and making the choices that you're making. And you claim to be a tata, a godmother, a bullcore. I told my people, I said, I'm going to take care of my health because I can't help nobody if I can't take care of myself. I can't do for you and nobody else because I'm not going to tear up my tabernacle in order to do work for you. When I'm working on people's finances, I know I have to protect my finances. And that's just what it is. It's called energy transfer. Hold on. Some of y'all can't even afford to get well. You can't afford the peace you seeking for. Yeah, I said it. You cannot afford certain ma'am. The peace, P-E-A-C, you looking for. You can't keep your house, apartment, or your life, or your body at peace because you're not investing in yourself. You're not making proper choices. You don't care who is in your energy, around your energy. These things matter. As you get older and older, you're going to have to make better and better decisions. And therefore, you're going to have better information. And this is why I know who's serious and who ain't. Because if you got responsibility, you got real problems, real situations, you need real answers. And you're not going to listen to a fool. You're not going to listen to somebody that... You're not going to listen to somebody that have not been tried and tested. You're not going to do it. Some people want me to take their advice. Look at your life. Don't get mad with me. If you want somebody to take your life, be the example of the advice you're giving. I can tell you about maintaining in season and out of season. I can tell you about maintaining even when people are trying to pull the rug from under you. Because I don't need them. My members, I don't need you to live. So I don't start no project if I can't afford to do it. Because black people, will leave you hanging for dry. And if you get upset about this truth and you want people to invest in your dreams and your ideas more than you're willing to do, you want other people to see your potential, and they gonna drop what they doing for themselves and just invest in you. It's not happening. It's unrealistic. It's irresponsible to even think like that, sir and man. Real magic, real conjure, real consequences, that's not something to play with. That's not something to toy with. And that should be something you should be gaining as much information as you can, so you can make the best decision for your reality by which you want to live. Some of these people act like I'm trying to get you to live what I'm living. If you want to live in a high house, live. If you want to live with somebody that's constantly stealing your money every time you getting paid, do you, boo? If you want to constantly be in a relationship, and this is for my bisexual and my gay brothers and sisters, melanated, because you can't afford the cleansing that is going to be necessary for the unfaithful people that you choose to interact with. You can't afford to lay down with him or her, because they can't even afford the hygiene necessary for their own bodies. Do you understand? I'm not telling you what not to do, because I'm going to do what I want to do. And I can afford to clean myself. I ain't looking to my doctors. I ain't looking to other people. I'm going to investigate. I'm going to study to show myself approved what herb, what mushroom, what branch, what bark I need to be chewing on, eating, or drinking as a tea to keep my system vibrant and immune to the foolishness that I be doing out here in these sexual streets. I don't care if I'm in a relationship. I'm still do what I gotta do. Help y'all. Let me explain to you about talking to people. I always ask this question: do they listen? And usually it's no. If somebody don't want to take your advice, they don't have to. There's an ego in your mind that feels like because you feel like you know better, that your advice should be taken. People grown. They don't have to take your advice. If they want to run down there and make their bed hard, and they got to sleep in it. If you lead them to the water and they don't want to drink, there are people out here in life that would rather drown before they drink. Who are you? Why does somebody have to take your advice, whether it's good advice or bad advice? Why would you want to be responsible for somebody's outcome? Why do you have a need to tell somebody something that is not listening? I'm not going to try to get a dog to meow, just like I'm not going to try to get a cat to bark. Some of y'all trying to make salt be sweet, and you trying to make sugar be salty. You can't change nobody but yourself. That's what black people, especially if you came out of church, you actually think you can pray and bring a change in somebody's life. You don't have no control. You don't have no sovereignty over nobody but yourself. The scripture said, I want you to go back and read Psalms 8. I'm going to show you, you can't afford not only your ignorance, you can't afford the ignorance of the people you trying claiming to help. It's really control. So if you want to know the real truth why you got problems, because you're trying to control another grown person. Psalm 8 said, He hath crowned him with glory and honor. He has given him dominion over the fish of the sea, fowls of the air, whatsoever passes through the paths of the sea, beasts of the field, every fowl of the air. He never gave humanity dominion and sovereignty over one another. And that's the very thing that black people spend their conjure, their energy, their frequency and vibration, trying to control their husband, their wife, their family, their children, their lovers. If somebody got respect for you, all you gotta have is influence. You can't make nobody do nothing. If you want some real truth, join my YouTube, because TikTok don't allow me to have my whole Sagittarian personality up front and personal. On YouTube, I let it rip. I got it on TikTok. I got to find too many synonyms and too many metaphors, and it's just too much work. I be so tired when I get off TikTok, because I have to overwork my mind, because I can't really say what I want to say. Because I can have the same message, because I'm having this message on TikTok, because I have a lot of my ATR practitioners on TikTok. And since they won't have a grown-up conversation with me, I'll speak for the upbuilding of black American people. And I'm going to say this to my black American people once again. The church has fooled you that Jesus paid it all. And when you get into the ATRs, you're not expecting to put that responsibility, that financial responsibility. And I'm going to break it down to you like this. When a man has been taken care of from his mother, and he has never had to be accountable and responsible for his resources, he has never been challenged by his mother or his father to be accountable about how he spends and utilizes his money. He's going to get into a relationship with people and places expecting other people to foot the bill. And usually the arguments will be surrounded around his inability to be responsible for his own self, no less than being responsible for the household he claims he wants to lead and rule. Can I say this, sir? Gay, straight, or bi? This is for educational purposes only. You can't afford to be the top in a relationship. I know what your preference is, but you can't afford to be the top in a relationship. You cannot afford, ma'am, to be the man in a relationship. Let me explain this, sir, in all my hetero relationships. The woman already has to go without having certain needs and wants met. And then on top of that, you're going to be unfaithful. She already don't have the peanut butter and the jelly or the bread or the napkins and the paper plates to fix the sandwich. Then you got the nerve to be out there trying to buy somebody a Subway sandwich and taking money out of our household that we already ain't got. You already behind on your child support payments, and you got the nerve to be out here cheating. Do you understand? It's not just a cheating. You already were inadequate to function effectively in a relationship. And therefore, you should not have been in a relationship no more than you should not be in an apartment or a house if you have not mastered paying what they call them, rooming houses. If you ain't mastered paying your part of the rent in a rooming house, what makes you think you're ready for an apartment? And if you can't master an apartment, what makes you think you can afford a house? And if you can't afford a house, what makes you think you can afford a business? None of that makes sense to me economically. All these things take process and encounters. You can't even keep conjure going in your house. How you gonna keep conjure going on in your business? If you can't protect the home front of your own physical address, how you gonna protect the home front of your business? Not only do I have a business, I have a website. I have social media. I have to cover all that. I got to protect myself in all of that, or I shouldn't be doing it. Some of y'all can't afford the account on social media that you got. Because the incoming of the people that ain't going to be with you, you can't afford to defend yourself against that. And let me say something, I'm not trying to be offensive. You can't even afford the conversation you having. You don't have enough mental intellect to be out here windmilling with people about their ATRs and how they're practicing. You can't afford to keep that light bulb on in your house. Your priorities are out of order. The conflict that you create on social media, certain man, you don't even can afford to protect yourself. The evil eye that you bought for $1.59 on Amazon is not going to protect you from all the energy that you are out here evoking. They ain't even ask you. You are out here passing your opinion that you can't afford to pass. I'm just saying, I'm a Sagittarius. I rule over wisdom. You don't have to. Thank you, and look at myself in the mirror before anything. That's the wisest thing to do. Before you talk about the kettle, you got to remember you the pot. And let me say this. I just talked to some people in my church. I said, these two women in this church, you have no business talking to. I said, I told you that you and her can't be sisters. And you went behind my back and still tried to have a relationship in my church. You can't even afford to have a relationship because that chick is a liability. Some of y'all, you can't even afford their friendships because they ain't up but a liability. We can't be friends because you too broke. You're going to create problems in our relationship because you too broke. I'm just being honest with you. Minister Mario was the only person that can afford, besides my family members, can afford to be, and sometimes he couldn't afford it. I was paying his way. He was making $85,000 a year, and he couldn't keep up with me. I'm just saying. Sometimes you're going to be getting into a relationship with people that have more liability than they have assets. And you're going to be trying to burn your Dollar General candles on your relationship. It's just crazy. Instead of you using them candles for emergency purposes only, you out here trying to do conjure that you can't even afford to do. You out here selling your food stamp trying to get conjure done. That means you can't afford the relationship. And I'm gonna say this, and please don't. I'm gonna say it to you. This is for educational purposes only. You cannot afford the attitude that you have. You let that sit with you. Yes, you melanated. Yes, you have 666 carbon energy. But the patterns that you have lived, the decision you have made, you have you have more expenses than you have surplus. And you don't want to hear that. And you don't have to. You, sir, man, you don't have to hear nothing I got to say. But I don't live the life you live. I don't live the stresses that you live. I'm 52 years old. I don't have no makeup. I don't have no wig. And I'm not even balding. I'm finna get my hair done by my niece. I'm not even balding. Do y'all see that? I'm not even balding. I still got my edges. Baby, you can't afford not to listen to me. But you don't have to. Cause I'm at 52 years old and I still got my edges. I don't need lace fronts. I don't need just for men. I don't need none of that. Just saying. I know I was always taught if you want to be where somebody else in their reality, then do what they do. Take their advice. But if I don't want to live like you living, hold on, y'all. I gotta put my